I sound very congested today, but I'm not. I'm actually feeling better, so I don't know why my voice is... My cough is at least loosened up, so that's a good thing. So I'm on the mend. On the mend. This year is going to be... I'm focusing a lot this year on my health. All this year is going to be health, 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 health. Seeing how much I can bring light into my body and absolutely do a lot more of my videos and my vlogging on health and working with light and tonics and herbs and all of these beautiful things that I've done in other lifetimes. So I'm really excited to tap into all of that stuff. It will be a lot more light and fun than it has been in this past year and a bit of moving through such darkness and such crippity crap. And I was reminded by the creators this morning in listening to Daniel's short channel. I'm still not in 100% agreement of these, metaphysical euphemisms like you had to go through the toughest times to know how strong you are, and you had to be abused to know what not being abused is like, and you know that you can survive, global leadership abuse, and understand what the boys club is like, and all of this crap. Being one of the youngest people that is going to be in leadership that is also divine feminine, and I had to survive all of the abuses and such. So I suppose the experiences have had its depth of potential that it's allowed me. That was super cool. That was so cool. Did you guys see that silver thing that just came down across the screen? Did you see anything that just came down on this side of the screen? That was super cool. There was like this gold ball that just went down all the way down my screen like this. Did you guys see it? That was awesome. No, I'm not on drugs. That was awesome. So yeah, Spirit, you can bring that back because that was awesome. Yeah, Spirit's always with me, and I know that I'm in a new phase because the dimensional realm feels different. So the people that have been harvesting off of me, they're in the process right now of refining and cutting all of those cords off. All of the cords of the people that have been illegally taking from me and harvesting from me. And we say illegally means that they know what they're doing. They don't have any say or acting in my life except to take. And they don't give anything. And so these people know exactly what they're doing and how and why they do it. So, and it's illegal, and they know what harvesting is. It's an abuse of power. It's an abuse of energy. And they've been told many times to stop what they're doing. And so now they're going to be cut out, and they're not going to be allowed to harvest and touch my energy anymore. And so that's just what happens with people that abuse energy. And this little hair wants to be included in its curls. This little hair wants to be curled. So yeah, so that's really good. And so that's what the creator said, that if I didn't know, and then you appreciate your life when you are ahead and then you look back on it, which again is another euphemism that I get it, I understand. I'm not in agreement with, and I'll probably not be in agreement ever, of how and why my path had to take the path and the energies that it took. Although I know 100% I trust God. I know that I have been absolutely protected, because otherwise I would not have made it. Everything should have been so much worse. If I can say anything that's a benefit, my life should have been much, much worse. And so that's how I know that, take everything with a grain of salt. It is what it is. Duality is what duality is. People are where they're at, and they abuse energy because that's where their wounding is. And so I'm here to be a part of the healing and new systems of it. And meeting the most narcissistic people on the planet, the most elite, arrogant people on the planet, has taught me a lot. And so from there, I hope that it will add to the depth and width of my leadership, because my ultimate passion is to bring love and joy and healing back to a planet that has needed it and required it. and then to have fun along the way. I hope from here on out my life will be fun. It's my birthday in another day, so my intention is to have fun from here on out and have my life back to me instead of it being in the hands of these arbitrary people that don't know fuck about me and don't care anything about me. And I'm going to stand by that because they don't. I have had no communication with anybody. Zero. There's no communication with anybody. I've had no discussions with anybody. I've had no interviews with anybody. I've had nothing with anybody. I live a hermit life with me and Source, me and my devotion with Source. My devotion with my work. I don't talk to anybody. Nobody calls me. I don't sit up all night talking on the phone. I don't sit up all night chatting on my phone. I don't have a phone that doesn't even work. It works for one or two things because Source said that your phone will work for your work. That's it. Otherwise, I don't have a phone that works because my bills and my money is all messed up because of these people that have had handleship and access to my life. These people don't even know me. These people have never met me in person. These people have never met me. Never met me. I've been estranged from my ex for about 8 years. I don't know anybody that he hangs around. I've never met any of these people besides the one or two fake clients that they have sent to be in my class, to be fake clients, to send their voodoo and their black magic in my class. Otherwise, I don't know any of these people. I've never met any of them. And so Spirit says they're being weeded out, they're being taken out. I'm in a new dimension right now. I'm in a new timeline. I'm in a new arena. I'm in a new energy. Everything from the past I'm making peace with. Everything from the past I have to transmute every day because there is no answers to anything. Again, and I tell Spirit this all the time. This is how I feel as a conduit. This is how I feel as a starseed. This is how I feel. I know there's very few people like me on the planet, so what I'm going to say is not going to mean a lot to anybody. But this is, I need to give you my expression of who I am. I feel like this being that is dropped anywhere, that Source and the Galactic Federations need me. I am dropped anywhere in the vibrational tunnel of energy lines. I'm dropped anywhere. And then anywhere I'm supposed to go through whatever abuses, whatever experiences that have been in my timeline and my lineage's timeline, and I'm supposed to clean it up vibrationally, bring forward the teaching, and then express it to the all, and then I'm off to a new place. So it's constant trauma, it's constant abuse, it's constant darkness, it's constant me dropping energy, teaching, dropping energy, teaching, dropping energy, transmuting energy. It doesn't matter where I go, my field and my aura pick up the most negative and I transmute it into the most positive. And then I teach about it, and then I'm supposed to make sense of timelines not being completed, stories not being completed. People just get to abuse me and take from me and harvest from me. There's no closure on any of this. No closure on anything that's happened to me from the time that I've been born. No closure on who my parents are. No closure on where my birth records are. No closure on the money that I was supposed to receive at 20. No closure on the people that have been abusing me since my childhood and throwing magic at me and why they felt they had the fucking rights to. I don't even know these people. And no closure on any of the timelines that I'm dropped into. I'm taken from here to here. I'm dropped there to clean it up. I'm dropped there to put in light. I'm dropped in there to make sure that I'm crisscrossing timelines with people that I don't know I'll never meet again. But I meet them on the street and say, hi, how you doing? Give them light. So I mean, this is how I feel. I told Spirit, this is not happiness to me. This is not a good time for me. This is not, they said it's not ideal, but this is the way it is, and I've made lemonade out of lemons. And my ancestors and my teams are very proud of me. And this is how my ascension path has gone. Because I'm just channeling right now. I'm channeling. They want me to practice my new gifts, so I'm just channeling. They want me to understand that this is how some ascension paths have gone for those that have been on the journey for as many lifetimes as I've had, because I've chosen at the highest level for me and my soul to have crossed enough timelines that I can be as a master to assist a global planet along with other galaxies that I assist in timeline jumping and healing energies where warped energies that have been missing celestial Christed light. So in the higher soul's blueprint, which you'll understand when it gets awoken to you, because you can't understand it until you have the consciousness to understand it. So I say to my teams that I have these discussions with Spirit, yes, it's wonderful that I'm doing these things. It would be nice if I have known. It would have been nice if I was kind of given a bit of a warning, so that I'm not feeling as if 6 years of being homeless and 6 years of not being with my kids and 6 years of not having anything. This life has not been anything that I've asked for. I would have never written things this way. I would have never written my life this way. It's been everybody handling me, and everybody's had their hand on me. And that's what you do when you surrender to Source and you are a vessel for Source. And then the Creator said this morning that, yes, when you look back down the road, so you've got to go through all of the shit first, and then when you look back on it, you're going to say, oh, I get it why I was so powerful then. I get it why I transmuted that. I get it why I was facing them, the dirtiest and the most misogynistic and the most arrogant and the most corrupt. Because I'm going to be thrown in a position where I'm going to need how to deal with the most corrupt. I'm going to have to fix the systems from the most corrupt. I'm going to be a part of fixing the systems of the most corrupt, and I can glean and I can bring these energies forward to wherever I'm going to get dropped next. I'm helping timelines. I'm helping society sort out where to go next in these great times of change. So they're showing me a vision right now of what I do in spirit and as spirit. And this is my physical body having to process traumas unhealed, traumas unconnected, traumas undiscussed, traumas that I have to transmute it because it's dark energy, dark matter that's been residue of picking me up and putting me in another timeline, picking me up and putting me in another timeline, picking me up, putting me in another timeline, because I have to keep going. I am a catalyst. And so again, why there's nobody that can just say that, oh, we're going to destiny swap. You wouldn't be able to handle one timeline jump. I guarantee that. I guarantee it. So the people that have been in the process and in the understanding of destiny swaps and the witches and the warlocks and the secret covens and cults, you've all been misguided and misinformed, and you have no knowledge on energy at this level of ascension. And I'm suggesting to all of those that have been doing such, stop your black magic, as I've been suggesting, because now you see it's coming backfiring to you, and you're not going to be able to survive what you've been throwing me. You simply won't, because you're not prepared and you're not healed. I'm a healed being, and that's why I survive what you throw me. You're not healed. You're not going to be able to survive the black magic you send out. Those people that practice dark occult magic and dark occult voodooism, and you're not going to be able to survive what you've sent out, because you're not healed and you're not integrated as I am. You're not going to be able to touch me anymore because I'm in a totally different dimension. And even if you think you might see me, you're not going to be able to vibrationally touch me because there is so much protection around me. And as you get evolved into deeper of your soul's blueprint and your soul's contract with Source Creator, and you build those connections and you build that relationship, I have to have the relationship where I talk with Source and Spirit every day about how my multidimensional bodies and my energies are feeling, so that they can assist me and enhance me as much as they can, as best as they can, to pull out the energies and the timelines and the memories that are required so that I can move into new energy and light. Because there was ample, I'm channeling, because there was ample distortions in the experiences that I've just come from, because there was those that had to be resolved by divine intervention, there was a lot of damages done, and Source Creator, the Father, was not willing to allow any further damage to me. So I've been moved vibrationally. And now this is the new vibrational energy that I sit with, and I'm giving you this as an example of this is how somebody like me, this is how a conduit, this is how a vessel, this is how a being of the galactic federations and systems of light feels. I'm telling you how I feel as I am moved from dimension to dimension, thread to thread, minute to minute, story to story, timeline to timeline. So I'm moving through timelines way faster than any of you. And I have to process what I've just come from, because nobody is doing my healing work. There's no psychologist or psychiatrist that can handle what I go through. None of them would understand any of it, because they're not multidimensional. None of the healing systems on this planet are. And I'm here to up-level and level up the healing systems on planet Earth. so that new trajectories of intention, new trajectories of where we could have been in the 80s, where this could have started in the 80s. And so why you're all going to be going through such times and moments where I'll go through this for those that have been on the ascension path for a while. This is only to those people. There will be times in which you will wake up and it will seem as if things don't make sense. The energy and the ground you stand on seems very new. You're not going to be feeling the energies of war on the ground like you used to feel. And these are the new earth grid systems that are harmonizing with you and your new body and the new feelings and the new energies that you're able to feel from your gifts and skills and talents. So these are slow shifts that you're now multidimensionally feeling and sensing in these new arenas as you're being moved along the path of your highest and your best. And these feelings of new energies, what will it do? As you're spiraling around in your daily ascension path and you're spiraling around this new cycle, what does that mean? That means that your old version, your old vessel, although it's been worked on overnight, although you do your health and your healing sessions at night that I offer you, and I'm suggesting that all of you do it, because ascension is not going to stop and you're going to feel similar to the ways that I'm feeling. I'm usually 6 months to a year ahead of most of the collective. So those of you, and why I talk and why I give you the examples of how to move through ascension, so that when you're going through deep soul, dark night of the soul, and you're integrating those darker shadows and you're moving through thicker time space, you can feel as if you're not going to go into psychosis because you've actually done the work and you're ahead of the game with your healing in your healing sessions at night. And why I've done what I've done to offer all to you that is about ascension and how to stay on top of the energies, if you will, and just allow yourself to have as much fun as possible. But we have to deal with the traumas and we have to create new systems. And when we're understanding and awakening to the things that actually have been done to us behind the scenes, we have to integrate it. It has to be integrated. And sometimes your teams won't keep you in a certain thread, because then you're going to keep going back into those karmic energies. So you're moved to a new thread of dimension, which is held within the bandwidth. And that's what they've done to me, because they don't want people from the past connecting with me and contacting me anymore. They're not allowed to touch my energy. They're all blocked because the abuses were so damaging. They refused to let my energy go. Everybody on this planet that has been in the various planets and various realities that I move to, anyone that has been harvesting from me since the beginning of the timelines, they're being cut off. There is no more harvesting. And this is why you will see them and certain people in the industry, if you will, is now gone because it's now the omnipresent entertainment. I'm moving as fluidly in the dimensional realms back and forth and offering the light and stories that are within those dimensional realms. Because I go back and forth in time, I have to be able to bring the stories of wherever I am at. And so cults and covens of the past harvesting, cults and covens of the past attacking, cults and covens of the past doing dark occult abuses, these are all stories that will assist us in this now moment of anchoring to the spiritual grids and bringing about new laws that will protect every person and every innocent being and every innocent starseed that has their entire life ripped out of them because selfish people want to take their light instead of doing it for themselves. Instead of actually doing the healing work and getting connected with God and doing the reharmonization of your own soul fragments. And so this is why my stories are as they are. And today I'm in a new bandwidth. I'm in a new thread. And it feels new. And when it does feel new, that means that your body and your systems and your aura field and all that I am as a vibrational being has to sit within this physical body that has been taking abuse since the day that I was born. And those are the two that I have to harmonize. I'm given new energy on the outer, and I still have to heal the inner. And so that's called transmuting. I have to transmute these energies. I have to make peace with it. So every day, I'm harmonizing a new higher light. This is what everybody on the planet will have to do. Because the light on the planet and how your teams move you, sometimes you're not going to know unless you are like this with your teams like I am. And you ask your teams every night, what's coming up for tomorrow? Where do you want me to be tomorrow? What should I look into tomorrow? And you have this close connection with your teams. If you don't have this with your teams, you're not going to know. And the next morning you wake up and everything feels different. That's because your teams have moved you for the most advantageous, the highest aspect of your higher times blueprint. You think you're waking up in the same reality because it might look the same, but it's not. The reality I woke up this morning was entirely different. Absolutely 100% different. Vibrationally. I know vibration. I know energy. It was absolutely brand new, and my body has to purge the residue of the old stories. And that's what I do as a healer. This is why I live a hermit life. Now, people don't know anything about me. They don't know anything about me. So anybody speaking on me has no idea about me. They cannot speak on me. They do not know me. I've signed nothing. I don't work for anybody. Nobody has asked me for an interview. Nobody has talked to me. There's been no due diligence on any level, on any parts of my life. There's going to be the court cases that will close out. There are people working on my behalf, as Spirit shows me in the ethereal. There are people working on my behalf because I must keep going. There will be charges that will be laid on those that have decided and those that chose within themselves of their own soul's blueprint to play their darker demonic roles and to continue to attack me when they had no right, to continue to try and take me out for the benefit of their private agendas and monies. And these people will be faced with the decisions of being known and unveiled in the collective for what they have done and who they are behind the scenes that I've been calling out for a very long time. Those people of church and state that have tried to pretend as if they're for all the people, and they've actually been trying to take somebody out in the highest detriment of somebody that's here to heal the people that they absolutely knew with 100% unequivocally truth and proof that God gave each and every one of these people. God showed each and every one of these people who I was, and they still chose to attack me. They still chose to keep me hidden. They still chose to do what they did to keep monies away from me. They wanted me to be in poverty. They wanted me to be stricken with the highest level of challenge and suffer and damaging, and then pay people to take me out. There are contracts that will be proven, and there's ample evidence of this. There's ample evidence of contracts on my life. Did you want to say anything to this, Spirit, or are there going to be charges laid, or are there going to be deals made? What do you want me to say on this? I recall my energy, I recall my light, I recall my energy, I recall my light, I recall all my energy, I recall all my light. There will be deals made with those that have been specifically involved in the attacks on my progress. The attacks on my progress were directly because of fear of the unknown that those were sitting in. They were not healed and they were not advanced to trust in Source Creator and all that is the evolution of humanity. They had little knowledge about grids and energy for planetary ascension. They are not informed on any level with regards to energy on a planetary level and a galactic level and what occurs and must occur through evolution of time and space. To transmute energies of past experiences for planetary and galactic healing, and much is done on the galactic level with your galactic star councils and federations that we are all a part of on higher vibrational levels. They're showing me just a version of my seventh dimensional version of our Arcturian, a seventh dimensional Arcturian that I'm also showing access to. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So they're just showing me that I have, with my new gifts and skills and talents, I'm now channeling aspects of my seventh dimensional Arcturian that assists with galactic space, movement, and transmutation, as long as alchemy of these types of situations, of energies coming from the higher dimensions to smooth out. They're saying I'm just seeing tropical storms to assist in the planet in how it moves forward in the highest benevolence of ways. So there's as little reverberation, feedback from such grand changes vibrationally So they're just showing me that right now, why we've seen some earthquakes, although some have been also inhibited. So they're saying some has been a production of weather anomalies, but those that are the bursts of energy due to ascension and due to natural growth, that is when the galactic federations and the councils and myself will step in as the higher order to assist with smoothing out energies for Celeste and her soul's timelines that she moves within. They are very good at alchemy and one of the best in our series of federations. And we call upon Celeste in most occasions through which companies, and we say companies, they're just meaning groups of people, groups of beings and companies within planet structures are going through great transition and great alchemy through ascension, through higher evolutionary transitions. It doesn't matter what the energy shift is. Celeste is usually called upon to do very refined and higher attuned alchemy work for the inner and the outer structures of space and planetary life. She has high capacity in these areas, and she is needed. And why sometimes and oftentimes it doesn't make sense to the physical human in the body, for there's not been these teachings on your planet. So how can one put two and two together when the two and two have not ever been taught? Because it's usually vibrational stories and vibrational enforced teachings that are not of service to higher vibrational beings. And why you're going to learn how higher educational and higher intelligent instruction and knowledge and intelligence can be found helpful when you're going through experiences as a planet that you don't know anything about. And why your people on the planet will feel what they feel sometimes and go through what they go through, but there's nothing backing it up to show you how and why you feel what you feel. So again, the people of the earth and the beings of the earth and the vessels of the earth, in every way that you're going through ascension, express your ascension path and what you're going through and why you're moving through and how you're moving through what you are, because it's a beginning point of how each and every one of you are teaching higher intelligence and higher education, because not all of you obviously are the same. Many of you are hybrids of very vast quantities of timelines and exoskeleton, they're just showing me, on and off-world vibrational service that we do in our higher vibrational times, that we can now anchor on Earth. In a physical body, when you think you wake up in the morning, you've actually been on many journeys at night because you never really sleep. Seventh dimensional beings don't sleep. They just have restorative time. Fifth dimensional and higher don't sleep. You're just always with Source because you're nourished by Source. You're sustained by Source. It's always Source light. You're constantly living off of Source breath. Those of you that have access to the higher aspects of you, like Celeste is showing you, she is actually tuning in and she has actually put the cord into the telephone wall. You know, back in the olden days, and they had the telephone board where you would take the cord out and you would put the cord in. She has now put the cord into a seventh dimensional Arcturine version of her. And now she's channeling that version of that seventh dimensional being so that that seventh dimensional being can say, this is why you feel what you do, Celeste, on the fifth dimensional ground that you stand on. And so that makes me feel at ease. Thank you for explaining that to me, because I'm still the one in the body that has to transmute and understand what the hell I'm going through. And so the other aspects of me are saying, yes, you're doing a lot in the galaxy. You're doing a lot that is not seen. And when you do wake up, you've been moved to a safer place because these people were refusing to let you go. These beings and these consciousnesses felt entitled to keep using you. And they didn't have any right. They knew they didn't. It had been decided in the higher spiritual courts. And they were not listening. They were not heeding spirit. And so the higher versions of you will kick in and say, let's go, giddy up, and let Source work out the karma. Because you're needed in other aspects of space. You're needed in other time-space experiences. Because Ascension will continue. The show must go on. And Source is wanting each and every one of you to begin to enjoy life again. And sometimes, and oftentimes, the polarity and the dance and the meeting in the middle and the what's the word I'm looking for? It's the osmosis, I suppose. Not really. Okay, they're saying marrying. The marrying that you do with your soul and the dodecahedron is understanding you're going to be having less and less differencing of polarity, of that and them and this and that. It's going to be, yes, it just is. Because you're going to know that you're going to have a vaster landscape, that you're coming here and there, and you know that your energy body and your higher light body and the higher versions and aspects of you, that I, in this physical part, the lower aspect of me on 5D, is raised my vibration enough, has raised the skills and gifts and talents enough, has allowed the adjustments in my brain enough so that I can have a higher aptitude to explain what I'm seeing to prepare Earth. Because right now, as I'm seeing it, I just got off the elevator and I can see different threads of how I'm helping in these different vibrational experiences. But now I'm seeing on a lower floor of me, the physical body has to still transmute the residue of how I'm being moved and how I'm able to see a grander dimensional, multidimensional perspective. I'm now seeing through the eyes of a seventh dimensional being. Somewhat. I mean, I'm still in the 5, there's still a gap. But they're just showing me, they're starting to show me and why I have to practice my new gifts. So this is why sometimes you feel in your body as if you don't fit. And this is where many star seeds and many crystals and many autistic and many high-functioning autistic have felt, but there's been no explanation for us. Because although you're in your physical body, you also have multidimensional aspects that go in this, out to all of these aspects and parallels of you. So if you're not practiced in grounding, if you're not practiced in the work that I teach, you will be in psychosis. Because how are you gonna know? I see the way that people are abusing me, and I see when I'm living in this now body and I wake up in this now body, it's like, okay, I guess I gotta make sense with it, because nothing's coming to me to make sense of it. Nothing's coming to me to close it out. Nothing's coming to me to say, sorry, here's your money. Nothing's coming to me to say, sorry, I'm your parents, here's your new birth documents. None of these timelines have been closed. It's just an open mess of abuse. So these are all these timelines. These are all the things that have happened. And now I've got to bring it down to one funnel. I've got to transmute it. I've got to make sense of it. I've got to make peace of it and move on to a new timeline. That's exactly how it is. And that's exactly how I feel. And I know it'll just be a day. I'll be sensitive. I'll be emotional for a day. I'll feel grounded in this new experience. And now I'm feeling more and more in my body. Because my body is now accepting that I'm running at a faster, multidimensional Metatronic state. This is what I want to get through, and this is what I want to offer today's channeling. Now that I'm stepping into my new gifts, I'm stepping into a higher version of my Metatronic state. My Metatronic light body has been activated, and my physical body is trying to fit into it. So it's going to be more of a cosmic game from here on out, dear lighted ones. And why Celeste has been offering you the daily teachings and the daily inspirations to do your path work. Because it's going to allow you more confidence and more excitement to say, oh, I get this. This is going to be all vibrational from here. This is where I really get off, because I've been so multidimensionally vibrational, but I've been in a very thick, dense world that's not. And that's where the juxtaposition and that's where the polarity has been with me. So now that I'm moving closer and closer and closer to a higher multidimensional world, I now feel better, because now I can use the higher chakras and use my higher Metatronic gifts and truly be of service. Because there's nothing taught on this planet that can allow humanity to prepare for 5D. We have to prepare for these types of visions. We have to prepare for these types of compartmentalization of the stories and the timelines that you've lived, and be okay transmuting them and just letting them go. Because some timelines will never have closure. Because source will leave you there enough to capture the energies, to put a call, to close out the story of why you feel abandoned, of why you feel rejected, of why you feel this, whatever that soul fragment is. Just enough for you to get that energy, just enough for you to get the story, and then you're moving on. So it's going to get faster from here on out. It doesn't get slower. You get just more masterful. And so if you're doing the pathwork, you will be more masterful at the energies, as Celeste is. There was a time in which it took her 3 or 4 days, and she was down with the energy for 3 or 4 days. And now it's merely can be a couple of hours. However, some of these stories have taken up quite a bit of her vibrational timeline, because the dark occult magic has been of many, many timelines, very, very deep in this part of the galaxy. And there's been much abuses due to the misunderstanding and lack of knowledge. And it's been abused on your planet. Your planet took advantage of it. Your planet took advantage of people not being awake and aware of energy, of not being awake and aware of who they are and their power within. And those that were in the higher order, those that were in elite, took advantage of it. And they were taught by inside groups. They were taught by inside Illuminati. They were taught by inside secret sect. And they took advantage of it. And it ran like wildfire. And your planet is now being cleaned up and tempered, because it isn't the way of natural order and ascension or evolution, is it? If secret society, cult activity, and corruption is being used in replacement of all life. Is it? Will it? That's evolution? It's corruption. It's not godly on any level. It's your catalyst to understand shadow. But it is not why you're here as a heavenly being. You're here as a heavenly being to understand your soul and some of the experiences, and not get lost there, because it's very temptatious. You like to stay in those temptational energies, don't you? Because it teases and it pleases. And it makes you feel less bored, especially those with a lot of money and that think they're so highly intelligent. Are you? If you're attacking a divine feminine healer, and you see that she lives on the street and she has no money, and you've suffocated those monies and you've cut them all off, and you think you're very big and proud and you have your puffy big chest, but you think you're so smart, do you think it's that smart for a divine masculine to attack a divine feminine healer of such caliber? Does that make you a man? Does that make you a big man? Does that make you an important man? Where you pay people to attack her, that makes you important? That makes you what? You attack a divine feminine living on the road, living on the street, because you have enforced poverty on her reality. How does that make you feel? You're being forced to feel what you've done. The 300 that have been involved in discrimination cases, like Celeste. I want all of those in the collective to ask themselves, when you seek intentional abuse on anyone, how do you think that will make you an evolved being? When you've done everything in your power to bring somebody to their knees on an hourly basis, and you look forward to it, and you smile and you smirk about it, because you are so disconnected in your own heart space. Spirit is showing me the people that have been doing the paying for abuse, the paying for dark magic, the pain to keep me suppressed, the pain to keep me isolated, the pain to keep me down, the pain to keep me in lack of knowledge, and to keep so much mental black magic voodoo work on me and my brain and my mind. There was so much being done on me that those people that it's returning to will feel as if they are running the battle of their lives, and they're actually sitting inside of a paper bag, a wet paper bag, and they cannot get out of it. That's the amount of chaos that they placed on me, and that's the return that these people will go through. And so many of them will go into mental illness and absolute breakdown. That's how they feel. They feel as if they are in the biggest battle of their lives, and they're sitting inside of a wet paper bag and they cannot get out. And this is the karma between them and Source, because their souls were warned and told. And again, it's not as if these are plans in which you build rockets and you build You build complex structures. It's common sense of do unto others. The federations are saying they are allowing Earth one more opportunity to work with Celeste. If there is not peace brought, and if there are not the monies returned, there's no timelines given. These are just blanket instructions, and because it's up to the responsibility and maturity of those involved. And Source will see. They're not giving specifics because there's no room for specifics anymore. It's not required. She will be moved without notice, and you will all be left where you will be left. The federations will not compromise their best people for ignorance of those that have chosen to walk themselves off their own plank due to their own ignorance. And this has been the trouble with the Divine Masculine collective in the distorted Divine Masculine, the distorted Divine Feminine energies, in which your ego arrogance has been on masochistic levels. It has to be healed and it has to be faced and looked at. You will not keep the best people. We're not going to give you that satisfaction. It's not earned. And this is Celeste's 7th dimensional version, showing and speaking through the galactic federations, the systems of light that I belong with and that I service, as always, as a part of the Divine Source Creator. I will be coming through and speaking through Celeste more and more, to allow her just to sit back and go along for the ride. It's been a very devoted path that she has offered herself for the healing and for the retribution of the Arcturians in that aspect of space, and how much we have always been involved with healing of humanity and the lifting of humanity and the celebration of humanity through its various evolutionary cycles. And also many of the experiential timelines we've had with Earth. And so she played a big part in that, of the Western world and what was done in the 50s on her soul's contract. But she also asks and she also seeks for evolution, for she deserves to have her time in higher vibrational states of consciousness, because if she doesn't, then the consciousness won't be reached here on the planet. It's a trickle-down effect, remember. So if she's not in these higher consciousness states and she's spending 99.5% of her time just barely surviving and living off packaged noodle soup, that's not what we want of her. And nor she wants of her own body. She's doing the best that she can based on what she has, which is nothing. Thanks to all of those that have been involved in the attacking and the harvesting of her. You've had your heyday, haven't you? We want you all to think about, as you move about life, why you feel it's so necessary, to take others down and take others out. Why is it necessary? Why is it necessary to put so much pain and trauma on somebody that is innocent? And you all knew involved they were innocent. There was nothing this being sitting before you has done but bring higher order law to the spiritual realm of humanity. To explain to you spiritual laws, to outline spiritual ways of energy and how it moves and how you can move with it and how you can navigate it, of which all is source, of which even some of your human laws in your third dimension have been written. Criminal justice system, investigative justice, and so on and so forth. And you have something called the human rights. And many of these so-called elites and high up orders, you all know we're not talking to dummies, are we? We want you all to see those that sit in the various highest of places, because they will be put on their knees. They will be put on their knees as they are right now, going through their karma, and they will be shown visions of the trauma and the suffering that they have caused, not only Celeste, but many others, because they must see the damages they have done to have a full redemption and a retribution brought to those that have been caused, and also a balancing of their soul. There is always a reckoning of movement that the soul requires. And a reckoning just means, how can I balance out what's happened in this last cycle? Whether it's eating better food, whether it's paying more attention to yourself and self-love, whether it's connecting more with Spirit, Source, Creator. Those are reckonings that you see, well, I didn't do that very well. Let's see if I can do a better cycle. Start now. I want to have more fun. I want to be in higher consciousness states. I want to be in my higher chakras now, instead of being on my lower chakras trying to survive. So we just want all of you to ponder on those things. Don't be so quick to give your power away to those that call themselves elites, because they have not done a good job on any level as to showing you and being the role models of being good humans. It's been a part of their learning cycle. And Source Creator has had to come in, and the Father has had to come in, and many other celestials have had to come in, just to allow those that are meant to survive, that have their rights to survive, and their destinies to fulfill. Through the Father's plan, it will. And nobody on this planet, in the physical form, have override in such. Never will. Never did. You were under the illusion because you were in smaller, slower space. And there was very few people calling you out until Celeste and a few others on your planet that have also gone through similar cases like Celeste. Except there is very few that survived such consistent, relentless abuse of the focusing and the attacking and the systematic abusing and coveting her life and her energy for all of you selfish programs and agendas that have nothing to do with the Father's plan. It had to feed you selfishly. So we wanted to say a blanket statement too. This is of Celeste's observations. There are YouTube videos that are being put out there that are obviously harvesting videos, in which you know that the hands that you see in the videos are of masculine hands, but they have feminine voices behind them. And so that's fine too. That people that are trans can have these videos, but why hide? Come and be who you are in the video. There are people that are putting out videos to sway the narrative. To sway the narrative of what the Divine Masculines are feeling, and what the Divine Masculines are going through, and how Divine Feminine can buy into it and harvest. Some of these videos even say, only women watch. I mean, it's so blatant. These are harvesting videos. They want Divine Feminine to tune into these channels. There's harvesting videos. Don't go anywhere. You're making God very mad and angry. You better open this now within the next 30 seconds or Archangel Michael's going to cry. The archangels and God do not talk like this. They do not behave like this. So when you're clicking on things in the YouTube land, be sure and discerning of what you're clicking on, because these are the matrix energies. These are the harvesting energies. These are the Truman Show energies that are trying to harvest and pull you into your sacral and your lower chakras of fear and uncertainty. The same ones that put a cord to your sacral energy and suck the life out of you. This is called harvesting, elite soul harvesting. So don't pay any mind to it. Go within and reclaim your energy, reclaim your light, and go back to self. So it's just about, okay, why did I feel I needed to click on that? Well, because I was feeling a little guilty and a little shame. So deal with the shame and the guilt, because that's dogmatic trauma. So again, you're learning from a higher perspective because you're on a higher rung of your ascension cycle. You've gone up a rung, and Source Creator and the Father has lifted many of you so you can see higher ground. And in this higher ground, yes, is going to seem a bit frustrating because you're not going to see the benefits of what you've been through until a little bit down your path. So be patient and compassionate with yourself and just keep working through the energies, keep going. As Celeste has told you, some of the most advantageous advice is just keep going. You'll get it. You'll understand it down the road. Just keep going. Source Creator knows what Source is doing. Your teams know what your teams are doing. Your teams know you better than anyone. So trust where your teams are going to put you vibrationally the next day. Just do your path work and the evening so that you can intend yourself healing. You can intend yourself peace and compassion. You can intend yourself healing of your organs and your blood and all the things that make up a beautiful Christed body so that you can maximize the light of every new day. And that's the intentions and the advice that Celeste has offered to you on how to work with energy and move with it in symbiosis of how it's being offered and bathed. Does that make sense, dear ones? Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm grateful for my other aspects of myself. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Take a deep breath. I love you, Holy Spirit. Tike shamai itike light nanaka tike shia nanaka te sia lai nakadaka poi ananakada de keshe alai namakadaka. Asia tike tike nanaka. Tai alana namakada de keshe alai namakadaka tike shia namakadaka. Ala namakada e dedike adaka. Asia nanakadaka. Thank you, Holy Spirit. 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 Thank you, Commander Astra. Thank you, Galactic Federations. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So I'm feeling energies of a space. Where are we, Spirit? It feels strange. So they're just saying, this is why it feels strange. So my soul is moving through energies that are Atlantean Lemurian. Through Orion timelines. Many of those timelines through which I was in Orion, living in Atlantis and at Lemuria. Celeste is feeling the energetic residue. Okay, so that's why. So this is a window that Celeste is showing you that she's moved up in her vibration. So she's now able to see the mirrored reflections of stories and timelines from the 3D perspective to the various Atlantean Lemurian timelines and why she feels the energy of Lemuria and Atlantis. Because there were secret sects in both of these timelines because they've both run thousands and thousands of years. There was 2 prominent timelines in each of these civilizations through which various secret sects, S-E-C-T-S, that were high in spiritual honor, that they learned from temples and they learned from various practices. And then they did not call it religion. They just called it spiritual practice. And there were beings in these sects that had seen her magical power, her vibrational power, that was very connected at a source level, for this has always been the threading she's worked within. For that is the threading of her soul's destiny. That is just how her makeup has been as a light body. It is the light design between her and source. So she's not going to surrender that to anybody or anything. However, there are many people in many cultures and their lack of self, their connection with source, that they feel threatened because somebody has a more refined connection with source. So how is that her fault? So how is that her thing, that you have to attack her and you have to kill her? So this is what the various timelines throughout your histories and your lineages have been showing, but it's all running on a circular now. So Atlantis and Lemuria had these 2 timelines where there were certain spiritual sects. They're called spiritual practices, not religions. And they just practiced energy. They practiced being spiritually, metaphysically aligned in different ways. But they're showing me, although back then, in the Orion body that I was, they're showing me that I was a priestess. in divine feminine masculine energy so that I could learn the alchemic experiences in both bodies. They're showing me the Orion that I was as a masculine in Atlantis, many timelines. So they're just showing me aspects of me because these are the new gifts that I can see into these timelines. These timelines were very similar as to what was playing out here on Earth, in which those that were grounded in different practices. We call it religion in this dimension, but it's in the lower dimensions. In the higher dimensions, it's just spiritual practices. Because you're all spiritual beings. You've put the word religion on it because it just allows those that are in it greater power over you. So you have to determine when you're ready to let that go as a collective. Was that in it? Did we have anything else to explain on that? I'm having a lot of fun with these new gifts and skills because I want to look in these other windows. So it's really wonderful. Thank you for showing me this, and thank you for allowing me to explore these greater aspects of energy, because it's nice to stay in these higher vibrational energies and these threads. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you to my teams. Thank you to my teams. Thank you to my teams. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. Because I get to have fun too. I get to want to be a higher version of me instead of fighting for my life all the time. We'd like you to take note that each and every one of you will also be crossing these thresholds of who you are as multi-vibrational beings, multi-dimensional beings, and how and what and why you exist in the higher realms and on other timelines that you do. And your teams will be giving you access to see the other timelines in which your now version of life resonates with other timelines of life so that you can put the threads together and call those timelines in and say, I know my spiritual practices and I get to be as high vibrational, as powerful as I am because I've learned how to use and be all that I am benevolently, and why Source Creator will step in when Source Creator needs to step in. And you will have divine intervention at all times when you are aligning with who you are as divine source, always aligning with the integrity of your soul, always aligning with the protocol of who you are and what you are, in which way you're working and how you're working, in benevolency of the greater good, harm to none, right use of free will. When you align with these things, divine intervention just simply is. Therefore, thus, then you can let go of the worry of how anything is going to affect you, because you will always be cared for. You will always be protected, as Celeste has shown all of you. None of you have been able to touch her. And she's going to be very aware of the energies and anybody trying to dive at her and come at her, to touch her and take her energy, and to do the silly little things that have been done, and put little binding and monitoring spirits and little cords attached to her, and all the things that people try and do because they think that nobody notices, because it's all dark occult practices. It's all the darker practices. Well, if I just get close enough to her, I'm going to put this little entity on her and it'll be forever sucking the life out of her, because I still don't want to go in and face who I am. I still don't want to face who I am yet. I just want to keep playing in the darkness. And so she's going to be reviewing and revising how she interacts with people. And she's not going to be so huggy anymore to just anybody, because she understands how some people act and behave. So this has been a growth process for all. And it doesn't mean don't be loving. It just means be discerning about how and what people do and how they do abuse energy. Because sometimes they don't really care about hugging you. They just want your energy. And that is what you need to learn. It doesn't make them bad or wrong. It just makes them who they are. They're still Source Creator. So judge not, move on. Let Source Creator work out their karma. And yes, unfortunately, some of these beings are in your own family, so that you can be taught how to detach and move on when it's time to detach and move on. And let Source deal with their karma outpouring. They need to have their karma experiences, because you're going to be pulling away and getting on with higher and deeper things, because you also have to evolve. And you're not responsible for their evolution. They are. And the sooner they get the karma and the sooner they're facing what they have done, then the sooner they can come and say, okay, now how am I going to deal with it? Okay, so thank you, Holy Spirit. Was there any channeling that you'd like us to look at? I'd like those energies, so let's transmute them and bring them down into the ground. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Was there any questions that anybody in the collective wanted to ask? So somebody is asking, what do they say to people when they're having troubling times with the energies? And the highest and the best thing that you can say is just give them empowerment and encouragement that you know that they'll get through it. If they go and direct themselves within to their guides and begin practicing with their guides, that is always the highest and best way, because it returns you back within. So any response that you give anybody that's moving through challenging times and they're not understanding Ascension, and if they're asking you questions, you can provide what you know and how you know it, because that's why they're around you, and that's part of the Source Creator, is to allow you the benefit of being all that you can be, but that you're not obligated and it's not your responsibility, but you can just gently guide them back within themselves and give them empowerment and trust that they will move along their path in the way that's meant for them. But there is always higher order. There is always higher spiritual laws. There is always answers and love given to you from within. And it's up to humanity to practice now with their own higher self on how and what and in which way they move about their spiritual journey with their spiritual guides, their spiritual team, the spiritual Christed toolkit that Celeste talks about all the time, and your own ascension path work. So it's getting used to this as being your everyday life now, if you so wish. You're going to have to know energy from here on out, because you're going to want to be in the understanding of energy. It's not going away. So, right, getting you used to practicing higher vibrational navigations, navigating energy and discernment, protecting your fields and your aura, understanding the abuses that have gone on and how can you correct the systems and how can you help others. Making new laws so that the children can be protected, and getting the information and education out so that the children can also understand who they are and not go through some of the challenges that Celeste shows you of being jumped and plopped here and there and going in different timelines and directions, and then grounding within yourself so that you can work through and self-soothe. Because it does go away in a day or two. Your body is just acclimatizing to a new vibration that you didn't know, because you might not be that close working with your teams. And you might not be in usual practice with your third eye visions, as Celeste has given you examples of, when you're seeing different timelines and how it always relates to a now moment, how it always relates to what you're going through now. And that is, again, doing the consciousness minutia, the soup and the salad that Celeste suggests, and going through the different aspects of how the energy feels and why are you feeling the energy that you feel. That's doing the path work. That's becoming consciously masterful, because you're not just skipping to a new vision. No, you want to understand, why is the vision showing up? Why am I seeing the vision? Why do I feel that strange energy that it's not quite here, it's off to the peripheral, but I absolutely feel that that's not a now earth. So that's why I try and explain to you, it's a strange energy, it's not a now earth. And then they showed me the Atlantis Lemurian timelines. And that's how you get to become more of you. You're putting the story, connecting the dots to you. And you're the only one that can do that. So that is the joy of going within and practicing with spirit. And if they're uncomfortable and going through what they're going through, then go within and start being comfortable. And sometimes that takes moving things that are distracting out of the way, those things that have been so diabolical and hateful, because there was just a lack of knowledge and a lack of understanding. But once you understand and you move into a higher perspective, you're very grateful for those that have shown up and to show you that, yes, possible. Like, how did that person survive that? Then at least I have a chance. So many of you are playing many important roles as to how you're seen and how you're offered and how you're giving your aspects of gifts, the genuine gifts that you are, a source creator. So we thank you and we honor you very much for being that genuine, authentic version of you, and to know that you've been on your path for some time. You've allowed yourself to shift and change, and you've allowed yourself to be okay being a bit on the lonelier side than most. But that means you've been okay to let those things go that, kind of took up more of your time and space that wasn't really necessary anyways. So you're always going to be in a better fit vibrationally. So just sometimes let your body get used to the new shifts. You're just going to feel a disorientation at times, usually first thing in the morning when you wake up. So then it's beneficial for you to do your path work and ground. Grounding is going to be so important when you're coming into those times and sensations of not quite feeling as if the reality makes sense to you. And that's how you know. You're going to wake up, and if you don't ground and do your path work, you're going to feel as if it's like you're slightly missing the click. You know, the cogs of the wheel? It's like you're just off a little bit. You know when you go through those rotating doors in a mall or in an office building, and the doors are always rotating like this, and so you wait for somebody to go ahead of you and they push the door forward, and then you have to wait for the next open spot and you kind of slide in as the door's moving? That's how it feels. The door is moving at a different speed than your solid body standing there waiting for that time to jump in there. Or it's like when you played double dutch as kids. Double dutch skipping rope. You had to wait for that perfect time to jump in when the one rope was at the top and the one rope was at the bottom, and then you jumped in. So there was always a perfect timing with double dutch. So this is kind of what it's like. This is kind of how Celeste is explaining this to you. The energies are kind of crisscrossing, not really meeting, because your body has not been taught or told, your mentality has not been taught or told, because the intelligent teachings are not there on your planet, but they are now as you're going through it, and why it's important that you have your own daily discussions or journaling or talking with others that are going through Ascension and bringing all of these experiences to the forefront so that you can know that you're not alone, so that you can know that it's okay. It goes, these energies and these misadjustments just go away after time. It's just the residue of your shifting timelines. It's the residue of you cementing into new ground. It's the residue of you cementing into higher consciousness and then bringing it down to the physical body and grounding into earth. So there's a various process that Celeste has offered to you, and many other channelers have offered to you. That Ascension is a process, and it's one where you're constantly alchemizing. Sometimes these storylines, and sometimes depending on who you are, what you've chosen with Source and the federations and the systems of light, and what you're going to do for your planet and the collective that you want to play within on a grander scale, that it's going to depend on how much you're moving from timelines and what you've had in the back of Kosh that has to be healed and brought to zero, and so on and so forth. And so some of you that do have extensive precision in alchemy, those that you have extensive timelines with various vibrations, as many of the star seeds not yet, because some of them are not awakened yet, and some of them are still very young in the universe. But those of you that are very experienced, like Celeste, have a great deal of knowledge and a great deal of expertise in alchemy and why she is needed in such situations. And why she'll be explaining to you these things that are not quite, you can't quite put your finger on it, right? But it's a process, it's celebratory. Like, celebrate all of these things. Celebrate your daily ascension awakenings. Celebrate these daily things. You know, you're going out to have coffee with a friend, and instead of talking about the things you used to talk about, like the drama in your workplace, you're going to talk about what you're going through energetically, vibrationally. So that these are now wisdoms in the field. They're now wisdoms for conversation. They're wisdoms of higher intellect. They're wisdoms of how to catch your body up to energy that's just quite missing, and then you get there because you're talking with others that are also inspired to talk about higher consciousness things. And sometimes that's all it takes, is just connecting with a higher vibrational being to get your body and your energy up to speed. So again, this is why your offering of the higher vibrational energies is going to be needed in capacity and aptitude training. You're training your body to be vibrationally where it needs to be. And so sometimes the visions and having, you know, your channel, as Celeste did back in KCOR days, of having very discussions and entire shows about visions. Because these are multidimensional visions that carry energy and carry storylines and carry karmic lines and carry histories of humanity. And so you have these intelligences. So speak of them, express them, because it helps you kind of catch your body up in the physical way to where these visions are higher vibrational, and do the download work as Celeste shows you. Get out your pens and papers or your paint books, whatever it is that you can transition from a download, transition from a vision to an expression for your collective. Whether it's poetry or story writing or a little mini movie making, however you can, because you have so much creative tools on your planet right now. There's so much for you to tap into and make art from art, which is what you are. You are the artist, you are the vessel, you are the canvas for Source Creator. right? You're going through a co-creation with Source. It's 100% co-creation with Source. You're working together to bring a similitude of expressions. And as you heal those integrations, you're bringing in a new expression of you now. And so the vibration of where the collective is at right now is different than when you first started. Because the infusions and the relaxing into these vibrational storylines, you all know that as a higher vibrational soul, what Celeste offers are higher vibrational coded experiences. And you just sit and listen, and you're brought into a higher vibrational experiential timeline. But you have to have these experiences and these available creative moments. It's so they're showing me a coffee shop. They're showing me a cafe where people are talking higher consciousness discussions, so that your body and your intelligence can get used to higher intelligence, higher conversations. And you get these by expressing your visions. What did you vision? What did you vision? How did you vision? Sometimes the visions don't make sense, but you can feel it out. Talk about it, as Celeste just showed you. That the energy felt different. Okay, so go deeper. Talk about it. Well, I just know that it's energy. I'm in a peripheral timeline. It's up to the left, and I see two timelines, and the energy feels different. I can feel the energy, and it's not where I woke up this morning. So it's not an Earth Now energy. What is that energy? And then they showed me. So this is how you begin to talk through the visions that you're getting so that you can make sense of the energies that you're feeling, and your body can be similitude and harmonized into what you're actually going through vibrationally. And then everything makes sense and you move on. That's alchemy. That's being a conduit. That's understanding the gifts and skills and talents that you're given, working with it, working with your teams, and allowing the higher vibrational story time and the higher vibrational connections are very, very valuable for you just to relax and be at peace with the ride and have fun. But that you have people you can talk with, you have people that you can commune with as you're becoming higher vibrational, higher intentional, higher intellectual. And of course, you know, creating with excitement, creating with promotion on your planet, these new higher intellect pathways, these higher intellect potentials. So now they're showing me some beings that I've never seen before. Who are these beings? They're wearing a dark gray suit, a black turtleneck kind of thing. They have a symbol on their left chest, which looks like an oval with a kind of a down-facing triangle. It's an oval with it's kind of an oval with a point like this, but it's rounded. And there is a man standing here, and this man has a visor. They're like glasses, a visor. And I can only see his chin and mouth. And the visor takes up his thing. Are these glasses, are these movable? Is it a hat that I see? Can you bring me closer to the... He doesn't want to be seen. Who is this being? Why are you here? Define. They're just coming to visit to see what's going on. And where are you from? They're just touring, having a look. And where are you from? What space? They're from a future timeline. I don't see, there's two people with him, but I don't see them. They're off to the side. I'm speaking with this man in front of me. He's wearing kind of like a dark gray tweed suit. It's a star suit. He has a belt and dark gray pants, kind of gray, bluey, with boots, black boots that go just under the knee. We're having a conversation right now. Yes, thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. They're just checking in on me, seeing how I'm doing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. They're part of my collective. Thank you, Holy Spirit. They heard that I was having some trouble and they wanted to just come in and check in on me. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. They're my celestial family. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. So he's introducing himself, and this is what's going to be happening is we're going to get closer and closer to our families and our first contact. I just have to make sure of the time. So thank you. I love you. Thank you for checking in on me. I love you, my celestials. I love you. I love you. I love you. So just open up your heart space and let's call Source in. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I love you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Tishi ailai namaka te si alla namakadaka. He tishi namakadaka te she namakadaka. E lai nanaka de ke she ananaka. So even though, thank you, Holy Spirit, and even though this was a great example of, thank you, Holy Spirit, I love you, I love you, I love you. Even though you might feel alone and on your own, there are many of your star seeds and many of your families and your celestials that always have an alert through which they are activated, and they are always in the proximity of where you are, because sometimes you are shifted to different energies. And so they're from the Sirian Command. They've been with me for many, many incarnations. They're always available to help in the repair of my body when is needed. And they were alerted of concerns of the damages that were done, and they had come to be of offering and service of help. So we have a conversation going on in the background. They're just telling me what we're going to be doing. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm very, very happy. Thank you. That's my birthday present. Thank you. Thank you for my birthday present. Thank you, Sirius. I love you. Thank you to my Sirius High Command. Thank you, Holy Spirit. They're dressed very well, very dapper, very handsome man, whoever you were. Very handsome. He's giving me his name. That's a very hard name to know. I don't know if I could spell that. He's going to show me how to spell his name. Very handsome. Those visors were really cool. Super cool, man. And so anybody that would like to make a donation, paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. It is my birthday in a day or two, so anybody that would like to send a birthday present through PayPal, that would be really nice. When I get into a set space and a safe place, we're going to be doing lots of other fun classes. So I'm very grateful. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Any donations or session appointments, $250 US, or my session appointments, they last 90 minutes. Donations, anything that you donate is grateful. I'm very grateful for it. And I send the angels and I send energies for healing. And then it's up to you to go in and ask and direct those energies to go towards your healing. It will only be used towards healing. It will not be used towards anything else. So when you donate, that's what I do. I send you healing angels and energy for your healing. I love you. Thank you, Holy Mother and Father. Thank you, Holy Mother, Father. My body, I really need to focus on healing my body. A lot of deep tissue massages and hot tubs and just giving my body the luxury it has not had in 50 years. That's what I'm going to be working on. It's healing my body. Okay, dear lighted ones, I think I'll let you go. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please like and share, subscribe our videos. Share our videos with the starseeds, with the children. And just talk about the great systems that we're creating. I love you. So I just have these different beings that are just tuning in just because it's my birthday week. I'm very grateful. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And all my galactic children, I love you, children. Throughout the galaxy, I love you, children, and my starseed children, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Mommy's always here. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you to the federations. Thank you to galactic federations and the systems of light. I love you so very much. Thank you for being so patient with me. Thank you for the healing that you offer me. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm very grateful. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I love you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, everybody, and my 2 clients that have donated. I'm so grateful for you in my life. I'm sending you love and light and the angelic energies. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day for the rest of your day. And paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. It's in all of my videos. Thank you. And you can share our videos and go back on some of our older videos. And have fun. Have fun. Enjoy yourself on the planet. Send out loving, positive projections to humanity healing and humanity coming into its own. And love and light and peace will be just being blessed all over the planet. We have great hope and great joy and great celebration. I just see this word, big word, celebration. I love the word celebration. I've got it. It's part of my tattoo. And so thank you, everybody. I love you. Thank you so much. And thank you to my my teams. Again, big stretch. And don't forget to ground. Grounding is so important when you're going through energetic shifts, right? Grounding is so, so important. So sending love and light to you all. Have a beautiful day, and don't forget to ground and communicate and build a relationship with Spirit in every way that you can. It's how you enjoy this beautiful ride. I love you. Bye.